What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today, MSTR. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are, looking at the price. We're at about 341, 1 day, 13 hours left in the week to go. Essentially 2 days left, right? We're in the very, very, very early hours of today, the 30th of January. Not only do we have 2 days left in the week, but we have 2 days left in the month as well. So we're going to get our nice monthly close. Let's actually look at this. The weekly close at this moment would be neutral. A monthly close here would be slightly green, to the green side. I think it's completely possible that by the end of this month, over the next 2 days, not only could we close above $400, but we really could engulf last month's candle. If we were to engulf it, we would have to close above a price at like 450. And I very much do believe it's possible. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does, but if Bitcoin, all it takes is Bitcoin to get going, man. And this thing can move in a very short amount of time, right? Here we go, from a low point here to a high point there in 2 days' time. If tomorrow, right, assuming that the low of tomorrow would be probably higher than the low of today, let's just put it right there. I feel like that's fair. In 2 days' time, we could really be at $450, guys. That would engulf last month entirely. I'm not saying that I expect this to happen. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it did, though. And if it didn't happen by the end of this week, maybe it happens, obviously, at the beginning of next week. But I certainly do expect that by the end of this week, over the next 2 days, we are going to see a pump. That probably is, at the effect of anything from 20% to 30% from where we are now. Actually, that was a little bit lower than where we are now. Let me adjust those numbers. I'm going to stick with it, 30%. And then at least probably 20 to 30%. It didn't change it that much, so we'll just stick with that. Yeah, I like the daily RSI here. Lower lows right here, relative lower lows. Overall, you got the higher lows and the higher highs, right? Overall, you're getting overbought. You're not getting oversold. You're not getting oversold. You are getting overbought. Bullish conditions for sure. But this relative lower low here with the relative higher low in the price. Right, and that is a relative higher low in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence, and generally it marks continuation. Right, it's not hidden divergence. Hidden divergences are not as powerful of a signal as regular divergences are, but they can still lead to some pretty powerful results. Right, just because you have hidden bullish divergence doesn't mean this move can't be spectacular. There can be other things that can make it spectacular, but this alone is not enough to make me think you're going to new all-time highs. It is enough to make me believe that you are moving up from here. And certainly I think that we will. $341 now. I want to look at the 3-hour time frame, 3-hour RSI. Getting overbought and getting oversold, showing some neutrality. The price action itself is showing some neutrality as well. But that is a nice bounce off the oversold zone, right? You basically got into it and out of it. You bounced right off of it, where here you're getting a little bit deeper into it. So that's nice, right? That's pretty akin to like what this would be essentially. And that promoted some rather immediate selling off. So I'm assuming you're going to begin this move up starting tomorrow. You really are. Starting tomorrow, going into the end of the month, going into the beginning of next month, guys. I think this is it. I think this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. I truly do believe here at $341 here on the 30th of January, I believe that in the next 4 weeks, if not 6 weeks, we'll see this thing go through a massive transformation, a massive amount of growth in price. We're at $341, right? MicroStrategy, if you guys remember back at November 18th, 2024, right, last year, it was talked about everywhere. Even for weeks afterwards, months afterwards, everybody was talking about it, right? Now it doesn't feel like people are talking about it so much, but it really does look to me as if it's on the precipice of moving higher. We've observed it on a few different time frames, the 3-hour, the daily time frame. Now we're looking at the weekly time frame, and you just look at this weekly RSI, man. It's immaculate. It's phenomenal. It's just higher lows, higher highs. You're getting overbought. At your weakest points, you're not even getting below the 40. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. What about the bearish divergence? That's not bearish divergence. That's not. Yes, higher highs. Yes, lower highs. That would be bearish divergence if it was bearish divergence, but it's not, because you have lower highs there, sure, but what about the higher highs? What about the higher highs here? What about the higher high there? You've got like 3 different highs that you're higher than. So it's not bearish divergence. It's too far away. It's not relative to be bearish divergence, right? If you're thinking that's bearish divergence, and because of that, we have to go down to 176, I would say you're wrong. It's not the case at all. In fact, it's more likely that if we look at this price here, being that we're having higher weekly lows closing, and we have lower weekly lows closing on the RSI, that's actually a really positive thing. And we're in an area, we're at a higher area than anything we've been at so far this cycle as far as bouncing goes. But as the cycle continues, our lows do continue to get higher. So it would make sense, except for this one, it would make sense that we would bounce here. And the last time, actually, the last time that we bounced and broke out of a consolidation range, which it was larger, it was a larger consolidation range, but still, from the relative low to the relative high, we moved up 377% from September 3rd to November 18th, right? We did a lot of growth in a very short amount of time. When I'm telling you $1,000 is where I expect us to go to, right? That's up here. That's not as much as this move overall. It's pretty close. It's almost, I wouldn't say it's almost the same. It's pretty close. It's a large bit of this move, but over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, I'm telling you, man, I think it's going to happen. I really do think it's going to happen. We look at this move here. This one only took from a low to a high 1, 2, 3. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks to get to here, 146%. 7, 8 weeks to get to here, 313%. That's my cat, if you can hear him. Yep, yeah, he's out in full force tonight. You know, if we were to make that move, that would take us well above $1,000. I mean, it's completely possible that this move, and the way that I'm measuring them here is from the lows. You know, if we were to take that as a consideration or into account, right, from a low point here, if we were to go to, what was this? This was, no. Which one was it? It was over here, sorry. September to November, so that's September, October, November, all of September, all of October, half of November. That's 2.5 months, right? So essentially, what would that be, like 10 weeks, right? If we took 10 weeks from there, 10 weeks from our low would put us right in the very beginning of March, right? Which is the later part of our acceptable time range, right? Why is it March now and not February? Because we still, you guys, it's the end of January, we still haven't moved up. The time frame will keep getting pushed back until we move up. That's just how it happens. If you can't accept that, if you can't deal with that technical analysis, trading, investing, it might not be for you, and that's okay. It's not for everybody. But if getting bored takes your mind off of takes your eyes off the prize, it might not be good for you, right? Because it's the boring moments. Oftentimes, it is the boring moments that throw us off. It's not the downward moments, right? I remember, and just thinking out loud here. You know, I was talking about these targets back here, talking about going to 1,000 back here. Okay, we went down like this. People were not as negative about MicroStrategy or about me down here as they are here at higher prices, as they are here at relative prices whenever I first made this call. People are more negative now toward me and toward MicroStrategy and toward the $1,000 call than they ever have been. And it's not because we've just gone lower the whole time. It's because we've been going sideways. We've been being boring, and those boring moments can really psych people out. I've got all this stuff on here. All I'm trying to say is I think that it is completely possible that by the midpoint of March, by the end of February, we've seen these kind of moves take place before. We've seen them happen in this amount of time, at that amount of growth, or more even. I expect that we will see prices at $1,000 in the coming weeks, in the coming 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is my expectation. We started this move here, this little move from a low to a high. Once we got overbought in the RSI, that was the first week we got overbought, was right here, up. Here, we got overbought, it was this week, so you didn't catch the absolute low of the move. It pumped 29% first, but you got overbought on the weekly basis, and then look at what ensued afterwards. Here, you got overbought on this week, again, not at the low. In fact, you already broke out at that point. But if you had this overall move from a low to a high, and you go right to the breakout point, which would have been here at the end of the week, that's where it closed, you caught over half that move. You caught like 2/3 of that move if you bought there, right? But that's just showing that the last few times we've gotten overbought, at least in the bull cycle, that we've gotten overbought in the weekly RSI, it's proceeded to grow. By it, I mean the price. We're not overbought now, but we're looking to get overbought. It certainly would make sense that we get overbought. Perhaps, like last time, we'll get overbought once we break out of our range, And once we get out of our range, we likely have more growth to go. And it likely starts a move that's similar to anything that we've done this cycle so far. And even at the smallest, even at the absolute smallest, the minimum target would be around $700. If we were to do something like what we did 2 moves ago, the move could take us above $1,200. If we were to do something like the move that brought us to our current stopping point, it could also bring us to $1,200. And this one took the longest to happen. From that low to where that would be on a time perspective, that'd be the end of March, which is a little later than I'm expecting. This here would be the middle of March, which is around the time that I'm expecting. And this here would be the middle of February, which is a little bit earlier than I'm expecting. But they're all possible. They can all happen. And it all starts here. It all starts now. We're late enough in the night, man. I'm making videos late enough in the night. We can see pre-market. We are opening up to the upside. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good weekly finish. And I fully anticipate that from here, we're at 341 right now, but on a pre-market data, we are at 344. Who knows where it's going to open up for real, but sometimes you get these pre-markets and they're up really high, and then you open and it actually opens below. So sometimes it doesn't happen often, but sometimes crazy things happen, right? We can get volatile, especially in moments like this where we're kind of at a pre-breakout phase. So I do expect we're going to move up. I do expect we'll see prices above 400, probably around 420 even by the end of this week, if not certainly early next week. And then moving into the new month, moving into the end of February, it's going to be phenomenal. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll probably make an update on MicroStrategy probably in a few hours, like whenever we wake up. I've got some stuff that I'm going to do. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here where I'm at. I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock at night putting my daughter down, and I woke up at midnight, so I'm making videos a little bit later than I normally do. But I've got something that I'm doing here in a few hours anyways, so I got to wake up early for that too. So I'll probably make a little update in the morning for MicroStrategy as well. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.